Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to take a look at something that seems so simple you probably don't even think about it.
Right. The phrase, let's try.
Exactly, just those three little words.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out, if you're only using that phrase, you're missing out on a huge part of the English language.
A huge part. I mean, native speakers, we almost never just say, let's try. We have this whole toolbox of other expressions, and which one we pick totally depends on the situation.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, right? To give you that toolbox.
That's it. We've got 33 real, natural alternatives we're going to walk you through. The goal is to help you navigate any setting work with friends, a technical problem, and just sound, well, more natural, more intentional.
33. That's a lot. So before we dive into the list, maybe let's frame it. Why? Why are there so many different ways to say this one thing?
Yeah, you can really break down the why into maybe four main drivers.
Sure.
First, and this is a big one, is just geography. You know, what's common in the USA can sound really out of place in the UK and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Second is register. Formal versus informal. That's huge.
Of course.
Third, we swap out the verb try all the time. We use words like give, have, take, go, see. They all add a slightly different flavor.
And the fourth.
And finally, it's just colloquialisms. You know, those unique, colorful phrases that every language has. You don't learn them from a textbook. You just have to hear them.
So it's not just about words. It's about culture, context, everything. Okay, start at the beginning, the baseline. What's a one phrase that's always safe?
That is just let's try. It's the neutral foundation. It works anywhere, in any context. You know, let's try again later. It's correct. It's just not very nuanced.
Okay, so what's the first step up from that? The first little bit of nuance.
I'd say it's let's give it a try. Just adding give and a softens it a little. It makes the attempt sound a bit more concrete, maybe a little more motivating. Still very gentle, very universal.
Well, right after that, we hit that first big split you mentioned, the geographical one.
We do. And this is probably the most important one for you to get right.
So let's say I'm in the U.S., I'm with friends, it's casual. What's my go-to?
It's let's give it a shot. Hands down. It's everywhere. The word shot has this feeling of, you know, taking aim, a quick, decisive action. It's got a bit of energy to it.
Right. Give it a shot. But if I use that in, say, London.
People will know exactly what you mean, but you will instantly sound American, which is fine.
But it's not the local dialect.
It's not. The UK equivalent is let's give it a go.
Give it a go. It feels a bit softer, doesn't it? Go implies movement, not a target.
Exactly. It's less about a single decisive moment and more about just starting the motion. So right there, you have a choice. Punchy and American or a bit softer and British.
That's a fantastic distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from just general attempts to language that's more about motivation, how we encourage people.
Yeah, so if you want to really inspire someone who's maybe a bit hesitant, you often drop the word try altogether.
So what do you say instead?
You just say, go for it. It's very informal, very American-leaning. It's not about trying. It's about giving them permission to succeed.
Ah, I see. It's like you're removing the barrier for them.
Totally. And if they're still not sure and you want to lower the stakes for them, you can frame it as a question.
Like?
Why not give it a try? It sort of implies, what have you got to lose? You know, you've never baked bread before. Why not give it a try?
That's good. It minimizes the risk. But what if the outcome is totally unknown? Not just for them, but for everyone. You're not really motivating. You're just observing.
In that case, you swap the verb again. You use see.
Uh-huh. Let's see how it goes.
Precisely. Let's see how it goes. It's so useful because you're committing to the action, but not to a specific result. Let's change the marketing copy and just see how it goes. You're separating the effort from the outcome.
Okay, I think we got the casual side covered pretty well.
Sure.
Let's do a hard pivot. We're walking out of the cafe and into a boardroom. The language has to change completely.
Completely. This is where we need to start being much more careful, more diplomatic.
So where do we start for maximum formality?
Well, if you really want to be polite, especially in a British or Commonwealth context, you reach for a little word that packs a big punch. Shall.
Shall we try?
Yes. Shall we try a different solution? It's brilliant because shall isn't a command. It's an invitation for the other person to agree with you. It's inherently collaborative.
It's so much more deferential than let's try.
Oh, worlds apart. And if you need to be even more diplomatic, maybe you're suggesting a change because the current plan isn't working.
You'd be even softer.
Right. You start adding layers, adverbs, modal verbs. My favorite is perhaps we could try.
Perhaps we could try. Wow, that is non-confrontational.
It's incredibly non-confrontational, perhaps signals uncertainty, and could signals possibility, not certainty. It's the perfect way to suggest an idea without forcing it on anyone.
Okay, so let's get even more specific. We're in a high-level corporate meeting. We're talking strategy, big decisions. The language needs to reflect that weight.
It does, and the phrasing starts to imply more deliberation. You're not just suggesting a quick test anymore.
So what's the first level?
You'd introduce the idea of thought, of review. So you say, let's consider trying.
Consider trying.
Yeah, that's manager speak. It means this is a real idea, but we need to analyze it. We need to look at the risks, the resources. It's putting the idea on the official agenda.
And what if the task itself is just really difficult, like technically complex?
Then you need a verb that acknowledges that difficulty. And that verb is attempt.
We could attempt to.
We could attempt to optimize the server. When you use attempt, you're managing expectations. You're signaling upfront that success is not a guarantee because the task is hard.
It's very precise language.
Very. And then at the very top of the corporate ladder, when you're talking about huge strategic changes, you need the grandest phrase of all.
Which is?
Let's explore the possibility of.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
It is. And the length of the phrase reflects the size of the commitment. This isn't just trying something. This is launching a strategic review, maybe involving multiple teams, budgets. It's a major undertaking.
That's fascinating. We've gone from give it a shot, which costs nothing, to explore the possibility of, which sounds like it's going to cost $1 million.
The words really do set the price tag of the attempt. Absolutely.
Okay, new context. Let's move into the world of tech. Software, design, marketing. Here, trying something is usually tied to data, to measurement.
Yes, the language becomes much more empirical. The most direct, common phrase you'll hear is simply, let's test it.
Or, let's run a test.
Exactly. It implies a clear process, a hypothesis, metrics for success. It's the language of quality assurance, of A/B testing.
But what about the more creative side? Like in design, where you're not running a test with a clear pass-fail, you're just exploring ideas.
That's where you experiment. You say, let's experiment with.
Let's experiment with different color schemes.
Perfect. Experiment is about discovery and iteration, not validation. It's a much more open-ended process.
And if something is clearly not working and you need to formally suggest a change of direction,
Then you'd say, let's try a different approach. It's a very professional, blame-free way to signal a pivot.
got it. And what about for, say, a new feature that's not permanent yet, a beta version?
For that, you'd say, let's give this a tryout. The word tryout specifically implies a trial period. We're testing it for a limited time to see if we want to keep it.
That's super useful. Okay, let's soften things up again. Let's talk about teamwork, collaboration. How do we phrase things to reduce pressure and encourage people to work together?
This is all about using language that emphasizes shared effort. So instead of a command like, let's fix this, you frame it around your collective ability.
So you'd say,
Let's see if we can.
let's see if we can fix the layout. That's so much better. It turns a demand into a shared challenge.
It does. And if you want to make a suggestion that is super low pressure, one that you're happy for the team to reject, you add one word at the beginning.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe we could try another font. That little word, maybe, is like an escape hatch. It tells everyone, this is just an idea, feel free to ignore it.
And I've noticed that in a lot of team settings, the most natural suggestions are actually questions.
Absolutely. Question forms are king for collaboration because they automatically invite feedback.
So how about we try?
Or what if we try? What if we try a darker design? It immediately opens the floor for discussion rather than just telling people what to do.
All right, now for my favorite part. The really informal, colloquial, slangy stuff.
Yeah.
This is where those geographical differences get really fun.
They really do. Let's start with some classic Americanisms. If give it a shot is the standard, a more playful, fun version is let's give it a whirl.
A whirl, like something spinning.
Exactly. It's for lighthearted things. Trying a new board game, a new recipe, something with no real stakes.
And what about that other great American one for when something is difficult?
Let's take a crack at it.
Take a crack at it. So that implies you're trying to break through a problem.
That's the image, yeah. You use it for a tough challenge. The code is a mess, but let's take a crack at fixing it. It implies focused effort.
Wait, so what's the difference between give it a shot and take a crack at it?
Yeah.
They both sound like you're trying something.
It's about the perceived difficulty. A shot is quick, often a single attempt. A crack implies you might be working on it for a while, chipping away at a hard problem.
That is a subtle but really important difference. Okay, so let's hop over to the UK. What are their versions of whirl and crack?
Okay, so instead of giving it a whirl, the Brits often give it a bash.
Let's give it a bash.
Yeah, it's very informal, often a little self-deprecating. And instead of take a crack at it, a common one is let's have a go at it.
Have a go. We heard go before.
We did. It's very versatile. You'll also hear that classic casual invitation, fancy giving it a try.
I love that. Okay, what about when you're just exploring something, like new software settings, with no real goal in mind?
If you're being a bit chaotic and unstructured, you can say, let's mess around with the setting.
Mess around with.
But if you want that to sound a little more creative and a little less destructive, you just soften it.
To what?
Let's play around with the layout. Play has the same exploratory feel as mess, but it sounds a bit more productive.
Perfect. Let's wrap up the list with a few that are very specific to solving problems and showing high commitment.
Okay. If you're dealing with a technical failure, a machine is broken, the Wi-Fi is down, there's a special word for that.
Let's troubleshoot it.
Exactly. Troubleshoot means you're going to systematically diagnose the problem. It's not a random guess.
And if a problem needs more than just a quick fix, if it needs real, sustained effort,
Then you commit to the process. You say, let's work on it. That's a much stronger promise than just trying. It implies you'll see it through.
and what if the answer isn't known and you need to think together to find it?
Then it's a joint mental effort. You say, let's try to figure it out. That phrase commits both of you to the cognitive labor of solving the puzzle.
It's a real declaration of partnership.
It is. It's a very high commitment phrase.
Yeah,
And that actually brings us full circle. Remember, give it a shot.
I do.
If you want to make that sound a bit more serious, more determined, you just change one word.
Which is?
Let's take a shot at it. Changing give to take subtly increases the sense of purpose.
Wow. The tiny words make all the difference. It's incredible.
It really is. I mean, we've just gone through dozens of phrases, and they show that just saying, let's try, really doesn't capture, well, anything. The formality, the geography, the effort.
So after all that, what is the single biggest takeaway for our listeners? What should they remember above all else?
I think it comes down to a two-part test you should run in your head. Who is my audience, and what is my level of commitment?
Audience and commitment.
First, audience. Remember those geographical splits. Give it a shot versus give it a go. Using the local version just makes you sound more connected. But more importantly, I think, is commitment. You have to analyze the level of effort and risk you're actually suggesting.
Right, that's the theme that kept coming up, the perceived effort.
Exactly. Your choice of words is really a social contract. When you say, perhaps we could try, you're signaling a low-risk, easily abandoned idea.
Right.
But when you escalate to, let's work on it or let's try to figure it out, you're signaling a serious, resource-intensive, collaborative promise.
So the language of trying is actually the language of risk management.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's a linguistic shortcut for setting expectations. Master these phrases, and you're no longer just making suggestions. You're defining the entire scope of the collaboration.
You're dictating the tone. What a powerful insight. We really encourage you to start using these today. Swap out a generic let's try for a diplomatic, perhaps we could try an email. Or try a fun give it a whirl with a friend. Start using these tools. That's all for this deep dive.